How to carve an eye. Alright, hello again and welcome. I'm going to go over a little bit on how to carve an eye. Really just my kind of interpretation. You can see here, this is the last guy I carved in my video. And I want you to look and see, just very simple. Didn't do any details of the pupils or anything. And that really seems to work fine at this scale. And then that wood, which is basswood, very soft wood, you're not going to go too much more than that. If you try to push it, you may get tear outs and end up having to keep carve into it. So I'm just going to carve off the corner of this block here, so you can do a little bit of basic eye, and then I'll show you how to do it inside the socket with the nose and brow there. I'm trying to do these a little bigger than usual and maybe draw some stuff because so maybe show a little bit more than obviously you see me carve eyes in the full wood spirit and the king video, but it's really small on the screen. As close as I try to get, you don't really see a whole lot or what I'm doing, so I'll try and explain it here. Basically what I was just showing is an oval is what you start with. Okay, at that point my cat's caught a mouse, and I had to go fix that. It was a problem all throughout the recording. They kept messing with it, and that was a picture of Storm, and the mouse was talking smack to her. It's quite a picture. Anyway, so here we go. This is the top of the, watch this. I almost cut the crap out of myself right there. Hilarious. So that was a no-no. Anyway, that's it. You just kind of carve that diamond, alright? And this is basically going to be like your eyeball with eyelids on it. And then we're going to carve a line straight through the middle, and that will make it a, that will kind of open up the eye. And that's basically what I'm leaving on most of these smaller carvings. If you're doing larger carvings, eyes start to break down in sculpture in general because you can't carve eyelashes, you can't carve pupils, and the larger things are, it's harder to get shadows, which means dark lines. So you can see right here, this is looking, that's really all you're really going to want. And if you're going to paint it, that's all you need for sure. And again, as I said, that's really how I'm leaving mine, as you saw the other one. I'm doing like antique finishes on most of my stuff, so it gets dark in there anyway in that crevice. And here I'll do an even smaller one because this is the actual size of what most of them are. And that's really all it is that just little like kind of squint right there. You just make an oval and make a line through it, and try to simplify that in your mind. Even if you're not using a V-tool, you're using a knife. Just think of it as you're doing the oval and cut through it. So here, I try to open it up a little bit. You can't really see, actually, now that I'm watching the video. It was kind of torn out, so I was kind of going back in there to fix it a little bit. But it can help a little bit to, if you want to deepen it a little more, if your V-tool didn't get that deep. Yeah, this is what I was dealing with all night. Yeah, I can't catch the mouse. I can't catch them. They won't let me catch anything, so I don't know. Usually the mouses are not dumb enough to come into our apartment, but that was a fun night. They eventually played with it and it got away because they're not really mouse hunters. I don't know. Whatever. So, what are we talking about? Here's a profile view of the eye, and there, see that? Those are the cuts. Just try to simplify it a little bit more. What's kind of going on? This is kind of what the round kind of simplification is. Cut on top, cut on bottom, the oval with the slit in it, and then, but really what happens, you want to just simplify it down to like a diamond if you want to, like this, and then the cut through the middle, which makes another smaller diamond, and that's the eye for you. If you want to go a little further, you do these little slit right there, and then cut in there, and then a little cut on top, and that we use super detailed eye. This is what you would be doing on the wood. Now I don't do that because I don't do that in basswood. If I did a super large carving, maybe. I've done it in some like sycamore, which will take that kind of detail, but the basswood really won't, even up to the sizes that I'm carving in this video, which are specifically, I'm doing a larger one so you guys can see it, and that's still really not enough. I kind of try to mess with it, and it won't take it. I actually did a whole other video last night on this, and I was out of my element because I was trying to do these larger and different styles to try to explain it more, because you guys have seen me actually carve eyes tons of times. on the other spirits and longer videos of faces. And anyway, I got out of my comfort zone. It's a different size, and I ended up tearing it out a bunch and screwing up a bunch. That's kind of the whole point of the eyes. You're not just dealing with the normal, the different parts of carving, which are the aesthetics, art, and then there's the craft of carving. In this specific situation, you're going against the grain, and it's right at the super detailed, going against the grain, and you have a lot going against you. And so you try to figure out what the limit of the wood is on taking against the grain detail, and then you're going to design your eye around that. Most people know anatomy of the eye more than they need to, and you're just not going to put all that information in there. You're not going to put the pupil. You're not going to do any of that stuff. And for the most part, people try to do eyes too open, more open than they should be. It takes a lot of years of art school to close eyes. That's what you pay your money for. Anyway, but I'm just trying to sketch here what is going on in this one, because what I'm really showing here is the oval is good for understanding, but in the actual face, it's not what happens, because the brow is on top of the oval, So what I do is, for the top of the oval, it's not on a flat surface. It's into that wall of the brow, and that gets my top eyelid, and that sinks it into the brow, and that makes it work much better. Because the brow also sets up a lot more shadow, which is what you want. Because to make dark lines for the eyes, you need shadow. So eyes work better the smaller they are generally, or at this size, really, because you can make a crevice that light won't get into in most circumstances. When you make larger sculpture, and this goes for the masters, when you go to art museums, see a large sculpture, the eyes don't look that good, because there's no way to describe the eyelashes and the pupils and the irises, which are all dark. And in art, you would do that no matter what color the people's hair or irises are. They're darker. So if it was a painting, you would paint it dark. If it was a drawing, you would make a dark line. You can't do that with a carving. On a smaller scale, you can make crevices again that light can't escape from. And that's what we're doing. That's, the whole idea behind my eyes, is that it's just to kind of make some crevices, some dark lines to represent the eye. So if you're doing a larger eye and you're having problems, just close the eye up as much as you can, make it squinty, try to do this kind of style, and also start your eyes very shallow on the face. Don't carve all the way your face fully three-dimensional where you think it might be. Start the eyes early, practice them, and see how it goes. And if they're starting to get too deep, just keep making passes. Make the face more three-dimensional. Make the nose longer. Just keep going. And I did this a lot early in carving. Sometimes I would never get there, and I just have sockets where the eyes should be, but it also influenced my style in making more three-dimensional faces, and making very large noses helped me understand that you have to take back a lot of wood. So it was kind of a happy accident, I guess. Here I'm kind of doing some little indentations to get a little bit of detail in that eye, but it doesn't work out to the extent of what I showed you before. But even doing a few little dots can help sometimes, but I don't get carried away. Those little peaks are just super delicate. If you're doing glazing like I do, the little antiquing finish, then none of this is going to show anyway. It's just going to be a crevice where a dark stain collects, and that's kind of what you want anyway, because you get those lines. So you saw when I made this eye. I'll do the other eye here in a second. That I didn't do. It wasn't as simple as when I did the first eye. It was kind of a lot of cuts that happened, and they all kind of looked the same. It's kind of like the oval lines and the middle line kind of all just, there was a bunch of lines in between, and that kind of makes the bags on the eyes, and that makes the cheekbone and stuff, and gives it a lot more character and detail. But you saw, again, that it really, I wasn't really planning those that much. They just kind of happened. And it's really what you want to do on the eye in general, is just keep it as simple as possible. Don't think about it as an eye. Think about it as these more basic shapes. and then look at it kind of subjectively. I'm trying to get a little eyebrow in there going, so it's got a little context. Yeah, mostly, I mean, this is gonna work, like doing these the craggy eyes with all the bags underneath. It works well in wood, and it's one of the reasons why wood spirits are so popular. Is because you can do that beard and the craggy eyes and the big nose and the dynamic features, and it really works so well. Every medium has things that work well with it. Doing females is so hard in wood, and it's just a totally different thing. And even when you're successful at it, it just doesn't have that same, fun look. And I'll put out a video soon on female faces, but there's a reason why wood spirits are so popular, and it's almost a genre on its own. So here you see, kind of did the oval, did the top one into the brow. And then I keep doing this bottom oval line. And you see that gives it those little lines there, and it makes it really nice, beautiful looking bags under the eyes and some character. I'm going to the eyebrow there. I'd check out Harold Inlow. He's a great carver. He does super detailed eyes. That's kind of where I learned, and it was way too detailed for me, so I really scaled it back and threw in some tricks of my own and learned along the way. But it was a good start to be like, okay, this is how you set it up. And basically what I showed you before with the diamond is a simplified version of what he does. But check his stuff out anyway, Harold Inlow. He has a book that's great on carving faces. He's a little bit too good to learn from, but it's functional to some extent, I guess. Anyway, so that's basically the eye there. You can see those eyes match up, alright. And I'll show you the diamond one more time here, the oval with the slit in the middle. Here's the top. And then I'll go to the bottom. You see I'm pretty sloppy, but it's okay. Clean that up a little bit. And yeah, use your alcohol mixture when you're doing your eyes. And you gotta open that up a little bit more, cut in the middle. And then, it's fine, perfect. Leave it. Yeah. Don't think about it. I mean, you see it looks so complicated, this eye. It looks like I have huge dynamic understanding of anatomy, but it's just a very basic shape, so try to think of it like that. Alright, thanks for watching, and here's a few pictures of past eyes. Okay, here's the king, and you see he's smiling, so his eyes are squinty, a little bit upside down U. There's the last guy I carved with the bags. These guys are sycamore. They have more detail, and but all it is those lines that I showed you in the drawing. The cuts on the side, and then the one little slit for the pupil.